Social media can be a lonely place if you're more of a contemplative person, looking deeper, ideologically focused on objective truth, and noticing things that don't seem quite right. Maybe that is you. Maybe you're like me. The feeling is no one cares. No one is out there across the whole internet. That's what it feels like. But this is not the fault of other people. It's just how it's set up. And it's been optimized for followers and likes and the dopamine drive, the ads and the bots, the commodity. It's only progressed further in the past few years. Authenticity has become a rare commodity. So just from observing online interactions, I've seen that anyone with pure intent gets pushed out or led into the same temptations. Again, that's simply how it's designed. So I'm wondering, is this the last remaining place where a real person can come across online and connect? Is this almost like the last frontier of the internet? That's what I am here to find out. So if you're here, you will witness me learning how to do this. I'm sure you can tell this does not come naturally to me. I'm not a creator, and this is not content. In fact, this is the first video that I've posted anywhere. So this is me, a real person. I don't know, and I'm not interested in, I don't keep track of what's trending. And since I was a kid, I've kind of been into the fringes. So I was the 10-year-old kid paging through Computer User Magazine, looking for BBSs to dial up, looking for that real connection. And I think in a lot of ways, it was easier to find then. I think with things as commercial as they are today, it's far more difficult to find that now. So I think that in that time period, we've lost a lot. I also believe that we can rebuild it. So if you understand what I'm saying, whether you remember what that was like, I think you can recognize that it was a different world. And so if you're having some of these same thoughts, I would like to talk to you. I think it would be interesting to talk about what we could do to try to bring some of that back. Now, since then, I've had a 25-year engineering career developing apps and firmware and hardware for technology products. I've also attained some level of independence along the way. My life now is like an endless quest. It's rarely easy, but there is always the next challenge, always the next project, and we love that. That's how we set it up. That was always the plan. At the same time, my family is together every day. We've homeschooled 4 kids. We've built out a life in the woods and ended up even owning and learning to operate heavy equipment for better or worse. We travel for months at a time in an RV, and we spend much of the summer in a century-old log cabin. I'll be talking more about this, but that gives you the basic idea. And I think it also gives you some hints into my value system and what my priorities are. Now, going to long form like this with the intention to help and guide people like you, it's been on my mind for too long, but I'm here now. I believe that this is the new mentorship. So my lifestyle may or may not be your ideal, but it has been steps toward mine. And much of the process would be the same for you. Of course, no life is absolute perfection. There are always challenges, no matter your situation. But this, for me, is certainly an adventure. And maybe you're feeling called to an adventure of your own. Maybe it's even something that you find difficult to describe, even to yourself. In a way, maybe you're feeling lonely despite being surrounded by friends and family and even neighbors, but somehow you're feeling like your values are becoming rare. And I know what that feels like. I understand that. so I can tell you that you're not alone in that. I will tell you things that I needed to hear when setting this up, starting 25 years ago. And over that time, I realized it took a long time, but I understand that the person that I am is not going to work for everyone. But making peace with that, because it doesn't need to. It's okay that no one cares what you're putting out there in social media or wherever, if what you're aiming for is the fringes. In a way, it's actually comforting. We're all made for some unique contribution. And whatever that is for you, whether it be ideas or artwork or music or writing, if it's your calling, it's not necessarily going to make sense to everybody. That's what makes it unique, right? So being outside of the typical 9 to 5 and living and working on your own terms, all these things, seeking independence, however you define it, being genuinely and profoundly productive, adding real, honest, creative value into the world. It sounds strange, but these are really unpopular ideas. This is not a common way to be speaking, but that gives you an idea of my focus here. Usually we hear about financial independence, very focused on the material. Things like early retirement, entering into this life of leisure, and idealizing that. I think there's a generation now that sees beyond all that and recognizes that land, time, places, spirit, these things, this is the true value, the connectedness with the eternal that transcends an earthly context. I'm going to be transparent about how this goes. It's definitely an experiment. I have a vague idea of where I'd like to go while reinventing my product development business along the way. And my aim is to help you get to the same point, maybe even beyond. Now, if you're out there somewhere, maybe living in conformance with convention, with the perfect green lawns in a neighborhood and the seal-coated driveways and all the mailbox posts painted exactly the color that the homeowners association decrees, dreaming of something more. Maybe it's not something more. Maybe it's something different, something that you can't quite describe, even to yourself, but resonant with how you were made. Let's head there together. I will share with you the inspiration and spirit that led to my living with a certain curiosity, counterculturally, even when we were in the city, seemingly totally conventionally, but also the level-headed reality check that would have prepared me so much better for what came after. So this is me, aiming to help you, help I wish I could have found 20 plus years ago. I know what you're dreaming of seems out of reach. I understand what that feels like because I've been in that same position. But if you have sincerely discerned that it's your calling, I am here to tell you, you can do it. I so appreciate that you're here and that you've taken the time to listen to me. I will see you next time. May God bless you.